If you want to scrape leads and send personalized emails through Instantly, like I have here with this Construction Canada campaign, I have been able to find the solution to scrape a ton of leads through Apollo. So for example, if I log into Apollo here, right, I don't have the paid membership or anything like that. I'm on a free trial. But if you want to scrape, for example, today I was scraping a ton of different leads from Canada and they were in the construction niche. And so I wanted to grab a bunch of email addresses from there and then have my automation, which is this, create me a personalized message, which I then use to fill in the icebreaker in my Google Sheet here. Right, so we want to send this email as our icebreaker. It takes in all of the contacts information, and it knows kind of what they're about, like their description. It gives it an SEO description, things like that. We take that information, we then build out a sequence which adds in this icebreaker. So for example, this icebreaker from here in this Google Sheet gets input into our Instantly. And if we preview this right here, it goes, "Hey Ryan," and showcases landscaping designs in Vancouver looks solid. So we're just complimenting the company, what they do, where they're from, and just give them a compliment, something that's personalized so we can just get our foot in the door rather than just saying something super generic that has nothing to do with them. This will at least make them question it. And so I'm going to go through everything today. And the first step that I would say to do is go to Apollo. And so from here, actually, I'll tell you guys what the big secret of this video. I should have said it in the intro, but I just got into it. The big secret is I used to try to scrape Apollo leads, right, in Apify using this scraper, but you couldn't do that. I was only able to scrape 100 leads at a time. Now, if you come over to one of these actors here, and yeah, look right here. So manual users on the free Apify plan can fetch up to 100 leads per run. So I want to scrape a ton of leads, but I just wasn't able to do it. And that's because you need to get on the starter plan. So if you go over to Apify starter plan, if I could find it here, Apify starter plan. We're going to leave this video unedited, so that's the way it goes. Apify starter plan, $39 a month, pay as you go. So you get this amount of credits and you get on the starter plan so you can scrape more than 100 leads. And that is the issue that I was having and I couldn't find it anywhere online. So that is the sauce. If you want to scrape a bunch of leads, like the last scrape that I just did was 5,000 leads. And yeah, now you can scrape more than 100. So that is the key to this video. Once you sign up for the starter plan and you're able to scrape a bunch of leads, what we do is we're just going to scrape it manually, bring it into our automation here, fill out our Google Sheet, and then put it into our Instantly email campaign. So let's get started. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. For this example, we are going to do a new example. We're going to search for, let's go in the United States. United States. And what are we going to do here? What niche do we want? What industry do we want? Excuse me. Search industries. What do we want here? I like construction, but glass, ceramics, and concrete. I mean, I guess we could reach out to them. That could be something. Let's do something simple like medical practice. Say we want to reach out to a bunch of medical practices to sell them our automation or sell them something else if you're not selling them automations. So now we have this URL up here that we need to take, and you don't need to sign up for Apollo's subscription, which saves us money, although we do need to sign up for Apify, but because we're using the Apify starter plan, we can scrape up to 50,000 leads per search URL. So we take this Apify URL here, we bring it over to our scraper, and I'm going to show you the manual way to do this. I do have an automation in N8N for this, and I'm going to link it up top or in the description below. And with a click of a button, it'll do this entire process for you. For this video, we're just going to do it manually and use our personalized message system to create those messages for us to send in our email marketing system. So where were we? We were at Apollo, the Apollo scraper in Apify. Let's scrape 500. Sure, we'll scrape 500 leads. Okay. So we brought this URL in, and okay, we want the clean output, scrape 500 leads. We're going to start this, and because we have the Apify starter plan, we're going to be able to scrape these 500 leads, and that is the key to this video. Take a sip of my coffee here, and we're going to get into it. While this is running, let's go and have a look at how our workflow is going to work. So when we execute the workflow, right, we're going to have a Google Sheet. So for example, we're going to have sheets.new, and this will be medical leads 500. All right. We're going to have that. And how this works is we have our Google Sheet. It's going to use our LLM to create a personalized message. So here's all the personalized messages right here. Knight's millwork looks pretty tight. Pearl's permit process looks efficient. Just gives a personalized message. You can change it how you want. This is what the example is, and this is what I've been using, just something very simple. It's going to personalize that message for us. It is going to do a batch of 100 items. That way you don't clog up the LLM and it doesn't give you an error or anything like that. So we want to do it in batches of 100, and then it fills the Google Sheet in. It waits for 15 seconds, and then it does another 100. Okay, and it does that in a good cycle. And then it fills out our Google Sheet with all of the icebreakers here with however many leads you want to scrape. You could scrape 100, you could scrape, 20,000 or whatever you want to. You do have to keep in mind though, and there is our output. So we got 400 results for about 50 cents. And that is what I just wanted to touch on, which is great. It's $1.20 per 1,000 leads. So you've got to sign up for the Apify starter plan, but you also have to pay $1.20 for every 1,000 leads. And if we check our last run here, we scraped 500 leads. And look at this, we got a bunch of emails. Wow, the output on this is actually really good. Damn, I just did one for construction, and like the emails on this output were just very minimal compared to this. So we got a ton of emails. And with this, you also get the LinkedIn URL. So if you want to do cold email marketing, you can do that, but you can also use LinkedIn and something called Phantom Buster to outreach through LinkedIn. So you're killing two birds with one stone here. You're getting their email address and you're getting their LinkedIn profile. So if we really want to reach out to them, we can just connect to them through here, or we could do an automated process. But I just want to let you guys know that with the scraper, you get a ton of information. Their email and their LinkedIn is really great to have for automating outreach. So we've got our leads, right? We're going to download this from here. How do I download this? Runs, right? Results. And from here, we go export. And CSV, we're just going to download everything. I would like to download everything, sir. Okay, my mistake. For some reason, I wasn't able to click the download. Either way, I've got my lead source. I've just downloaded it. I just downloaded the CSV file, and I'm just going to go over my leads here. Okay, and now once you've downloaded your lead source, come over to your Google Sheet, and we're going to import that file. So we'll go upload, and we'll drag in, which one is it? Dataset Apollo. All right. And we're going to import that data. We're going to open this, and this is going to be our new source of leads. So you got first name, last name, email, a whole bunch of information. This is great. What we want to add at the end is another column. It's going to be called icebreaker. And this is what is going to be that first message in our email, and we're going to have automated for us. So we add an icebreaker to our Google Sheet. We're going to change the name to medical office leads. Medical office leads. Now I'll just specify that it's 500. And from here, we will pull this into our automation here. And so I'm actually just going to build this from scratch just so you guys understand it. And we're going to build it right under so you guys have an overview. Okay. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to just copy this over, and it's just a read sheet. So if you come here, it is a sheet within a document, get rows. So if you go to Google Sheets, right, you can go get rows in a sheet, select that, and then from scratch here, we just get rows, and then we find our medical office leads 500, and we go from list, and we just select this as our sheet. Okay, and then from here we can execute the workflow, and let's see what we got. There we go, 500 items. All right, and from here we're going to add in the messaging model, which is actually just a basic LLM chain, so we can use OpenRouter and Gemini Flash, so it's a lot cheaper than using some of the other models. So we add this in here. LLM, basic LLM chain. All right, we're going to add 3 separate prompts: a system, a user, and then an AI from here. And I'm going to give you this prompt. So all this is saying you're helping write the first line of a cold outreach message. Your job is to sound like a real person who actually researched the prospect and found something genuinely interesting. Return only the icebreaker text. By the way, guys, you'll be able to download this template in my AI automation school called the AI Automations Club. If you want to come over here to my classroom section, download all of my automations and templates, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to build it from scratch, then you can do that also. So we're going to grab that system prompt here, right? You're helping write the first line of a cold outreach message. And I just gave it, it's kind of spaced out poorly here. But what it's doing is just saying, hey, write me a personalized message. It gives it some rules and regulations of what not to do and what not to sound like. And it just creates a really good first message for us. So we copy over this prompt. We're going to enter this into the define below, as well as the system message. Now the system prompt, and the system prompt is more of an instructional prompt, and that's why we're entering that in there. The next prompt will be, let's grab this. For the AI, this is just telling the model how we want the output to look like. And then for the user prompt, this will be data that we pull in here. So we want to give our large language model some data to run off of. So we want to give it, a first name, the company name, and then we've also got an SEO description, or we'll grab a headline. So co-founder, so it lets them know who this person is, what they do at the company, etc. We've also got an organization short description. So we can add maybe the SEO short description. We'll add that in, and that's just going to give our model a lot of context to work with when it's creating that personalized message. From here, we're going to add in OpenRouter, which is just adding in a chat model. And from here, you will add in, let's go Gemini to Gemini Flash 2.0. We're going to use this model. All right, so we've got our basic LLM chain. We've got OpenRouter. If you don't know how to connect to OpenRouter, you have to create a new credential, enter in your API key. When you come over to OpenRouter, set up an account, add $10 here, come over to API keys, create an API key, add in N8N as the name, copy over your API key, and then you're going to want to bring that back over into your workflow, into your OpenRouter. Enter that in, and you'll have access to OpenRouter. Now, we've got 500 items, and we've got our large language model. The next thing we're going to do is add in the Google Sheet, and we're going to update the row within our sheet here. So we're going to select the medical office. Oh, we want to make sure that's the right one. Medical office leads 500. Medical office leads 500. I want to make sure. Medical office leads 500. There we go. And for sheet, we just select that right there. Okay. And you can do a test run here, with a smaller amount of items, but it's not that expensive even with Gemini Flash 2.0. Like, it's a pretty cheap model. So from here, we're just going to do a little test run. We're going to execute the workflow. All right. And then in here, we're going to get our personalized outreach message. It's using OpenRouter. And then we're going to fill it into our Google Sheet. So I wonder if we stop this, if it gives us the output. No, it doesn't. Okay. So just for this testing purpose, we're going to make another Google Sheet. So we'll go sheets.new because we want to pull in the information into this Google Sheet. So we'll go sheets.new, and then we'll go medical leads test, and we're going to pull in a couple of these right here. Not all of them. We'll pull in. Oh, I see. We'll pull in 10 of them. We'll copy this over into our test sheet. All right. And okay, let's actually just refresh this just because it's still running, wasting some tokens, unfortunately. And okay, let's actually connect to this test sheet first. So we'll go medical leads test, and we'll execute this here. Now we pull this data in. And what we want to do is just execute this LLM chain. So we get the personalized messages, and there we go. We get a bunch for all 10 of them. And now we can pull the data into here to update our Google Sheet. So we'll go get rows and sheet, and we need to match on a column, which is just matching on one of these columns right here, just so we're able to pull in that information from the Google Sheet. So the column to match on will be first name, and we pull in the first name. And all we want to do from here is pull in the icebreaker. So if we scroll all the way down, you see the icebreaker is here, which is just this icebreaker column right here. And so what do we want to pull into there? Well, we want to pull in the text that the large language model provided us, which was Gemini 2.0 Flash. So we've got our JSON.text, right? And if we execute this, let's see what happens. Let's refresh this. Oh, what are we pulling into here? Aha, there's an issue. Medical office leads 500. We're doing the test. So we want to import into the test sheet. So we're going to do the same thing. go first name. We're going to match on the first name, and we're going to pull in that icebreaker. I'm going to pull in this icebreaker here, execute the step again. And, wait, what's going on here? Let's see here. Is there a issue? Okay, we've got the output. We've got the output. Medical leads test. We've got the output from our model. And medical leads test. Okay, that's fine. Are we matching on the first name? Execute the step again. Okay, and there we go. So yeah, I don't know what I was pulling in there. I thought I was pulling in the icebreaker, but pull in the text here from under basic LLM chain. And now if we go back to our Google Sheet, we'll have all of the icebreakers. So saw iMoves, PT Mobile Clinics, Niche Play, saw J Pepis is advising Opus, interesting stuff. Okay, so sometimes it uses their first name and sometimes it uses their company name. And so depending on how you want that message to be, you can change it how you want. So iCare's 2020 partnership with OCLI is a smart move. So I'm assuming it used the organization name here. And so if you just want to use the organization name, you can, you can give the input information and the user here. You can take out the first name if you just want to message the company. You can remove the organization name if you want and just stick with the name and try and match some information with the actual person instead. And so we've got a mix of, using people's names as well as the company names here. Right, so sometimes it says the person's name as well as the company. And so however you want the message to be, just mess around with these settings here and the prompt with however you want the message to be output. Now we've got that done, right? We've got the icebreaker finished, but now we want to do is add in a loop. And the reason we want to do that is because if you have more than this amount of leads that we have right now, let's say you have 5,000 leads, sometimes what happens is you overload the large language model and it just takes a lot of time and gives you a really bad output, especially if you're using a model that gets used all the time. So what you want to do is loop over and give it a wait period. And so that's just the last thing we're going to add into here is a loop. So we'll add in a loop. And for the batch here, what did I add here? We added 100. So we're going to add the batch size to be 100. So every 100 outputs that it does into your icebreaker for your large lead set, it's going to wait, take a few minutes or take a few seconds, and then it's going to loop over. It's not just going to try and do, 5,000-10,000 at once because it's not going to work out very well. So we got this loop, and from here, we're going to grab the information from the Google Sheet. We're going to connect done over to the basic LLM, and then we're just going to loop this to itself here. Okay, and so now if we delete all of these, we're going to, how much, we've got a few different rows here. So really we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 9. Okay, so we'll just go by 2. And so however many leads or however many leads that you want to go over, you just enter that in here. And so we've only got 10 here, but if you have like 1,000, make it 100. I just keep mine at 100, and I just did a 5,000 lead data set. So for this, we're just going to make the batch size 2. Give that a little save. And from here, what we want to do, we want to delete this as well. We want to delete the connection from the sheet to the chain so the loop actually works. And so from here, guys, we're actually going to want to add in this wait node just so we get a bit of time before you run the next loop here. So we grab a wait node, and you can do however much time that you want. We'll go with 10 seconds. I would recommend, like 30 seconds if you're running a large data set. And from here, what you'll do is take this wait node and bring it over to the input of the loop. And now if we run this again, delete these icebreakers here, execute the workflow, it's going to loop over, update the row, give it a 10-second wait, and then it's going to run the loop over again. So there you see it just did that again. It comes over, loops again, waits, and then does the same thing. And now it's accessing OpenRouter again, which is Gemini Flash, and it's going to repeat the loop until all of the leads are filled out in the data set. So once your automation is complete, you will have your icebreaker leads filled out. And like I said, you can do this with a much larger lead data set. And so the main purpose of this was to show you guys that you can actually use the Apollo information through Apify by using the starter plan. And that's what I want to show you guys. It took me a long time to figure that out. From here, if you want to start using your lead source for email marketing, you're going to download your file as a CSV right here. Now, when you come in to Instantly, you're going to create a new campaign, and you'll name this medical office leads. Go continue, right? And then from here, you're going to add in your leads through the CSV. So for example, I'm just going to enter in a large data set here. Let's actually add in the medical one, which was this right here. There we go. So we add in our first name, our last name. We also want to grab the email, and let's see here. Job title, headline. Okay, let's see if we can add in the company name somewhere. Okay, and one thing you're going to want to do is when you come over to your medical leads test here, just delete one of these columns. If this happens, you're just going to want to delete this column right here, and then we're going to download this again. So go download CSV medical leads test sheet number 1. Sometimes that happens, so delete the last column and we should be good to go if we upload this lead source again. So choose another method, upload CSV, and I'm going to bring in this lead source right there. Okay. And if we scroll down, there's the icebreaker. That's what we need. So make sure you delete that last column if that happens to you. It's happened to me a couple times. For the icebreaker, we'll just go make it as a custom variable because we'll be pulling that in after. And first name, last name, email. Yep, that's what we want. We also want, okay, there we go. Organization name. We'll make this a company name, and we'll be able to pull that variable in as well. And that's really all we need. Change over that company name and make this icebreaker a custom variable. You're going to upload everything. I can't upload it because I'm only on the starter plan, so I only get 1,000 lead uploads. So upload all of those. Once you do that, we're going to come over, right? And this is how you'll have it in your campaign. You're going to have 2 different sequences. Now, just copy over my sequences here. So we've got one email, that's the first email, and it goes like this. Quick question about, and then you put in the company name here. So if you go, bring in the variable, what was it? What was it here? What do we have? Was it company or company name? So you can go quick question about, variable company name, curly bracket, preview this, and then quick question about FMI. So that'll be you know, the company name right there. And from there, you want to go, hey, first name, should be hey Ryan in this case. You add in the icebreaker. So for that, same thing. You just go, and it should populate sometimes for you just so you can select it quickly. If we go curly bracket icebreaker, then it brings in the icebreaker here. Showcases landscape designs in Vancouver look solid. And then this is the message that I have. And I also have another variable at the end that just says based on what I'm seeing at job title. And you could actually go company name for this as well, depending on what your lead source looks like. Based on what I'm seeing with FMI, I think you'd benefit from something similar. And that is the first sequence. The second sequence is just first name, hope things are going well. And I just write a small message here as well as my name and a couple, you know, resources that I have, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, and my Skool, just to show them who I am, what I'm all about. Okay, and that is how you're going to add in your icebreaker. So you want to upload those leads. And then once you do that, you come over to sequences, you add in your icebreaker right here, the icebreaker variable. You can also add some other variables like first name, company name, however you want to write it. And after that, all you really need to do is go over to options here. So if we go to options, we're going to select all of the email accounts that you have selected. And if you haven't done that already, you need to come over to email accounts and add new. I've already added mine, but what you can do is just buy a bunch of pre-warmed email accounts. They're about $15 each, but this means that you can start sending emails today instead of having to wait like a 21-day period like I did with my different emails. If you guys want to know how I did that, I can make another video on that as well. And let's go back over to our campaign. So let's see here. Yeah, we'll go to this. This was our sequence. And from here, once you've added in your sequences, you'll go to options. You add in the pre-warmed emails that you just added in. And then you're going to disable this, stop sending emails on reply. And so if somebody replies back, we don't want to keep sending them automated messages, obviously. And for open tracking, we're going to leave this disabled because we want to optimize for delivery. And if we select these two boxes here, which will, you know, add the delivery optimization, we can't actually track the open tracking for some reason. And so we want to optimize for delivery anyway. So we'll just select these. The daily limit, you're going to leave as 120. You're going to save this. You're going to publish it, and you're going to be able to send a cold email marketing campaign using Apify's lead scraping with Apollo, as well as your automated personalized message system through N8N. If you guys like this video and want to learn more about AI, I have my Skool, the AI Automations Club, where you can take your AI to the next level. I'm coming out with courses, you know, every single week, and I have a whole bunch of different templates that you can come and download for all of my YouTube videos to get you that much further ahead. So I hope to see you guys in there. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.